Hey there gamers, welcome back to our channel, Marvelous Gamers, where we bring you the latest news from the world of gaming. They say imitation is the best form of flattery, and when it comes to a franchise as popular as The Legend of Zelda, it is not surprising that over the years countless games have tried to imitate the game's success of the franchise, where some games have blatantly ripped off the games while others have drawn inspiration and created something original. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video to explore the top 10 Legend of Zelda clones. Mysplaced 2023. When gamers got to see the first glimpse of Mysplaced as part of IGN's Rogue Jam funding, they were quick to point out the similarities between the game and Link's Awakening. The art style of the game, along with the layout of the game, is incredibly similar to the 2019 remake of Link's Awakening. The plot of the game is also similar. When the protagonist finds himself in a different world where he doesn't belong, eventually he realizes that he is misplaced in some other world. The objective of the game is to find out why the protagonist ended up in that world in the first place and the way out of the world back to his own. This sparked outrage among the fans of Zelda, who started calling out the developer Clear Sky Games for blatantly plagiarizing the game. So Hale Guillaume, one of the two members of the development team, the other being his wife, pointed out that the similarity in the art style is not coincidental but rather a homage to Zelda. On the other hand, he has also mentioned that since the game belongs to the Metroidvania genre, the gameplay would be a lot more non-linear compared to Zelda. Okami 2006. Okami as a game draws a lot from Zelda, right from the beautiful setting to the fact that the player plays this game with a wolf named Ami, an incarnation of the Japanese sun god Amaterasu, which is similar to playing as Wolf Link in the Twilight Zone in Zelda. Along with that, the general mechanics of the game is almost identical to Zelda games. However, what separates the game from the rest of the Zelda games is the unique visual style, which draws heavily from traditional Japanese ink and water style art, and a storyline which is inspired from Japanese folklore. The game takes place a century after Shiranui, a pure white wolf, defeats the 8-headed demon Orochi alongside Nagi, a swordsman, to save Kamiki village and Nami, the beloved maiden of Nagi. In the present day, Susanoo, the descendant of Nagi, releases Orochi after refusing to believe in Nagi's legend. The demon goes on to curse the village, following which Sakuya, the wood spirit who also happens to be the protector of Kamiki village, summons Amaterasu as Shiranui to save them from their plight. Alundra, 1997. Alundra came out a time when there was a void in the realm of 2D action-adventure titles. The game is very similar to the Legend of Zelda games, where it draws heavily from the art style and puzzle-solving of Zelda, but it manages to add a lot more with its dark undertones and a mixture of dungeons, dreams, and overworld. The game follows Alundra, an 11-year-old protagonist who is an elf and belongs to the clan of Elna, the Dreamwalkers, and ends up in a small village following a dream. After the villagers start conceiving an unknown form of sleeping sickness, Alundra is left with no other choice but to use his powers, which allow him to enter people's dreams. Similar to Freddy Krueger, as the game progresses, it becomes increasingly darker as the game deals with topics like clinical depression, death, destiny, existential crisis, and religion. Beyond Oasis 1994. Beyond Oasis follows a gameplay style similar to the Legend of Zelda series. You can collect upgrades and use magic while exploring maps to save the world. The 2D graphics are comparable to those found in The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo. However, Beyond Oasis focuses a lot more on combat compared to The Legend of Zelda. The game takes us on a journey as the young Prince Ali discovers a gold armlet that allows him to summon the spirits of fire, water, shadow, and plant in his fight against the bearer of the silver armlet, who uses it to harness chaos and destruction. Ali travels to the land of Oasis while learning to use the powers of the armlet. Hob 2017. The visual similarities between Hob to The Legend of Zelda are evident with its top-down style of adventure, which gives the player the same sense of experience as the Zelda games. The combat aspect of the game is also similar to Breath of the Wild 2, where both the characters Hob and Link use their enigmatic gloves extensively during combat. Hob is an exciting adventure game full of suspense. As players explore the enigmatic world, they uncover a planet in danger. Since the game doesn't have any dialogue or written form of communication, the players have to figure out the story with the help of clues in different environmental settings, enemies, and different creatures that Hob encounters throughout his journey. Oceanhorn 2 Knights of the Lost Realm 2019. Played from a top-down perspective, Oceanhorn 2 Knights of the Lost Realm draws a lot of inspiration from the Legend of Zelda games. The combat showcased in the game is very similar to the swordplay that gamers have previously encountered in the old Zelda games. Apart from the combat, the semi-serious tone and puzzles in the game are also very similar to the Zelda games. The game narrates the life of Theo, who was raised by Master Mayfair after a warlock named Mesmeroth handed him over as a child. Theo later travels to Outcast Island to procure a lockbox to help him become a knight. After returning, he continues his training with his robot friend Jen. Later, he comes across Trin near the site of her crashed airship and brings her with him. However, Jen, Theo, Mayfair, and Trin escape the village and make their way to White City after the village is raided by dark troopers looking for Trin. In White City, they uncover Mesmeroth's sinister plan of taking over the throne and ruling the kingdom. In order to stop this from happening, the group embarked on a quest to find the three sacred emblems of the sun, earth, and ocean. Immortals Fenyx Rising 2020. Apart from the aesthetic similarities, Immortals Fenyx Rising also has parallels in gameplay with The Legend of Zelda, where both games allow the player to explore their vast open worlds and have combat both range and close quarters. With various items and weapons scattered across the Golden Isles, it is easy to draw a comparison with the setting of Hyrule in the Breath of the Wild. Also, the wing mechanics in Immortal Fenyx Rising are very similar to Link's glider. The game follows the story of Fenyx as he is tasked with saving the gods from the Titan Typhon, who Prometheus has released. On his journey across the Golden Isles, Fenyx will come across various gods and creatures from Greek mythology and solve various puzzles and defeat enemies. The main objective of the game is to defeat Typhon. The story of the game is narrated by Prometheus to Zeus, where Prometheus also provides commentary throughout the game. 3D Dot Game Heroes 2009. Many liken 3D Dot Game Heroes to The Legend of Zelda because of their many similarities. Both games have expansive overworlds that are interconnected for players to explore, as well as intricate dungeons with puzzles, traps, and enemies to conquer. In both games, players can obtain various weapons and items which are often necessary for solving puzzles and defeating bosses. Additionally, both games have challenging battles against colossal foes that require strategy and skill to overcome. 3D Dot Game Heroes is a tribute to classic action-adventure games, and although it is less well-known than Zelda, it perfectly embodies the genre's essence and is a must-play for fans of the series. In 3D Dot Game Heroes, players take control of a hero on a mission to save the kingdom of Dotnia from the Dark Bishop Fuel, an evil entity. The hero may awaken a formidable weapon capable of taking down Fuel by gathering 6 magical orbs. The protagonist must explore an expansive world with hostile foes and menacing dungeons, a fairy sidekick, and several weapons and objects that may be acquired or found during the game help the hero. As they fight to prevent the kingdom's fall, the hero's actions determine what happens to Dotnia. Crusader of Centy 1994. Crusader of Centy and The Legend of Zelda are action-adventure games that have similar gameplay mechanics and storylines. In both games, a young hero must explore a vast world and complete quests to progress through the game. Players engage in combat, exploration, and puzzle solving in both games, while also collecting weapons and items to aid them in their quests. Additionally, both games feature dungeons that players must navigate to progress. Lastly, both games offer a non-linear structure that allows players to explore the game world at at their own pace. The game follows the story of Corona, a 14-year-old boy who inherited the sword from his father, who had passed away in battle and had carved a reputation for his bravery. Corona, who resides in the town of Soleil, must discover the facets of the world that he lives in, during which he can only communicate with animals. After he defeats Dragon, he unlocks the ability to communicate with humans, and upon which he must travel through time to figure out the reason why the monsters are at war with humans. Spiral Knight 2011. Spiral Knights and Legend of Zelda have a lot in common regarding gameplay, features, and themes. Both games require players to navigate dungeons, solve puzzles, and collect and upgrade weapons and equipment. They also offer challenging boss battles in a fantasy world with magic and mythical creatures, and encourage exploration. Players can enjoy co-op play in both games and have a colorful and cartoonish art style. Spiral Knights is a multiplayer online game featuring the spacefaring army known as the Spiral Knights from the planet Isora. Unfortunately, their ship, the Skylark, had crashed on Cradle. The planet's interior is packed with a constantly changing mechanized dungeon called the Clockworks. The Knights operate from the town of Haven on the planet's surface, where they delve into the Clockworks in search of a mysterious energy source at its core. They hope to use this source to bring the Skylark back to life and relaunch it. Marvelous Verdict. If you're a fan of the Legend of Zelda franchise, we would urge you to try these games out for yourself. Despite being clones of Legend of Zelda, these have managed to impress gamers with their gameplay mechanics, plot, and art design. Do let us know in the comment section if you have played any of these games before, and if so, your experience playing these games. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share this video, and for more exciting videos, please subscribe to our channel.
Typhon grows stronger by the hour. I swear to you that soldier shall be our salvation.
Now it's up to me to prove it.